As for me and my house, we worship the scientific method and we worship muscles and might. We're heading forward. And I'm going to tell you, your body over centuries has evolved to take a knee to something bigger than itself in service and in reality. And so me and my family, we follow Christian practices. That's who we are. That's the belief structure that guides our house. Great. I've got friends who are atheists. I got friends who are Jewish. I got friends who are Muslim. I don't care what your belief system is. What I'm telling you as a cornerstone of a non-anxious life is you have to stop trying to hold the universe up because you simply cannot. My atheist friends, who I love dearly, they're some of my closest friends. Their kids play with my kids. They might believe in the birth and life and death and resurrection cycle of nature, that they're going to live this life and die and become part of the soil and a tree's going to grow. Great. You have to do the work to begin to believe in something. And for some of us, that is getting over our arrogance or our hurt or our religious trauma. And I'm going to go back into a church building. For some of us, that's sitting down with a friend and saying, I don't even know how to believe. I don't even know what that means. For some of us, it's like, hey, tell me about your faith. And they may be like, well, we're going to talk about that here. And it's like, I do. I'm going to learn. Like, teach me. Whatever it is, it's about opening your hands up and saying, dear God or dear gods, please reign, because the world doesn't revolve around me. Usually, if you do that, that leads you to a life of service for your community and beyond. But I think the starting point is a place of humility. I'm not the center of the universe.
I can't believe we've been talking about an hour. It feels literally 10 minutes. I've got to do a round two because there's so much from the book. There's probably a chapter per podcast, like in there. Something I did notice was that as I was reading it, it gave me such sort of hope and kind of explained things. And I knew that with 2 chapters, I already purchased your other book, Owning Your Past for a Better Future.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
To me, that was just like, this guy gets it, he understands it. And how did writing the book, because you're very personal in this book, you give very potentially damaging stories out about yourself and what happened in the past, and it's a very vulnerable thing to do, but you're open and you're honest, and I know it'll help people. But how did this help you kind of come to terms with that? And since you become a father, how have you understood anxiety and these kind of issues to then help your kids not, I don't want to say relive, to avoid your mistakes, but to understand them so they can make better decisions in the future?
Yeah. So I'll butcher the quote, but I always love to roll back to the great C.S. Lewis quote. The definition of friendship is, oh, really? I thought I was the only one. And now our picture of friendship in the modern era is through a glass darkly, right? I'm going to curate my life, what I allow you to see. And so I'm going to make sure you only see the best pictures. I'm going to make sure you only see the bright spots. I'm going to make sure, even my closest friends, I don't
Yeah.
call them and say, hey, dude, I'm worried about my light bill. I call them and say, hey, dude, I'm number one, right? And I think that shiny imagery is hiding a bunch of people that aren't waving, they're drowning, right? And so I think the time is now for a generation of leaders and people who have some sort of visibility, whether you are the head of a 12-man plumbing crew or you are a political leader or you're an author, whatever, somebody with a quote unquote expertise, to open the curtain and say, hey man, I'm trying to figure this out too. I don't have it all together.